Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while, hasn't it? Okay, good. We're live. A while, but to everyone who's been here before, and for those of you who are coming along later, this is really a channel where we kind of look at what's in the news and we see what's in the Bible, and we put those things together. In addition to some of the things that I see in my visions, I'll let y'all know about. So, hello, sunshine. It's so good to see you. Very glad to see you. It's I know it's been a while. I got an eye infection. My cat died. It wouldn't stop raining for the longest time, and I definitely had a grand mal seizure like a week and a half ago. Yes, I did not forget what you said. Trying to go ahead and just give a few seconds for everybody to get in. And so, for all of you who come later, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, and definitely hit like. I love everybody's comments too. Oh, thank you, girl. It's been a rough month. In fact, I kind of feel like I'm having grand mal symptoms again, but perfect weather. It's good. We've got a lot to talk about. Okay, we're ready to get started because there's a lot to talk about. I think to start off, I think it's pretty clear that the dark side is practicing. They're practicing for what is coming in the war. They're setting everything up, all of their pieces, but the side of light is also preparing too. We have to prepare to make hard decisions as the days go by. And in these times, we have a sword that has been brought to us spiritually. So we have to understand that friends and family will also be divided again and again over time, making it more of like a sifting. But their changes are going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. Some of the prophecy that I was very alarmed to see was a statue that wants to visit 21 cities. It's like 18 million, but see, they want to make more of these statues, right? And it can move and it can speak and it can be whatever image it wants to. And for the people that are lovers of themselves, they get to have selfies with this thing too. But it gives you that just clear look about what the image of the beast looks like now, what the form is beginning to manifest, what vehicle it's going to take, because there is a whole beast system. So you've got the false prophets, you've got the Antichrist himself, you've got the system, and then you've got the image of the beast. And I can't see any better way to introduce it than make it a time of unifying people and marveling at the works of our own hands, and kind of a distraction from all the stress, to make it like a good thing so people want it. So when the time comes, there will be images everywhere where masses of people can come to worship. Okay. Hello, Janet Alvarez. Good to see you. All right, everybody's starting to come on. Good deal. Good deal. All right. What I've noticed is we had that Revelation 12 sign was kind of what has started this about 4 years ago. It was the woman of the apocalypse, and it has made me realize that she really was the kickoff of it all. She was the one who kind of, you know, was the one who said, "This is the beginning of the end." That sign up there. All right. And we have seen those worldwide changes ever since, and they're getting bigger and bigger. They can't be ignored. And a lot of these things we talked about on my channel, I told you they were coming before they even happened. All right. Hello, Paula Hoskins. Good to see you also. Good, good, good. Okay. Um, and when you're practicing for the big hoorah, World War III, you also need to see which people are more likely to fall in line. And so we had the Cootie 19 problem, you know, and they used intimidation. They used all kinds of things to get people to submit. It seemed like it was a litmus test also. Okay. And because there are so many people that are used to following the crowd and doing what's popular, just because of that, in part, they ended up doing that. And that's going to be something that the Antichrist will be counting on in the war. Somebody who is just going to bow down just because everybody else is doing it and they don't want to stick out. Okay. Um, but now there's a new, whole new variant that has come out. So, what I'm thinking is, if this first round of miracle potion jabs is what I think it is, then any other variants, uh, I don't think you're going to do so well. I think I'd do better than them, to be honest. Um, but that's just part of what I think is practice. But then we've got changes in government happening. New Israel Prime Minister Naftali is coming in, and he seems like he's hardline for keeping Israel together, but he's also keenly aware that it's time to, we're moving into the time where the third temple is going to become a reality in Jerusalem. Everybody can smell it over there, they can feel it. So, regardless of what we think we see right now, some bargaining might be possible even with Naftali. We'll just have to really keep an eye on that. But Iran will also have a new president that is already known as the Butcher. And at about the same time all of this was being announced, all of a sudden Jerusalem has a sinkhole. Mexico did too. It got another one. The Ring of Fire solar eclipse was also around that time. And since then, more in the news, we're getting, it started with the report of drought in the West. Now we're hearing about lava fires. And at the same time, there was flooding in the East. And that's extremely prophetic, because we understood as Christians that in some areas there would be terrible, never ending drought. And then the other areas, it would be just water. But now it's gotten worse. They're having heat waves in the northernmost corners of the U.S., which is in combination with the fact that there's magma infill of a lot of the volcanoes on the west coast of the United States. So the west coast is getting it from all directions, considering the heat sources. It's not just one, it's all of it. And again, I told y'all I had a vision about Mount St. Helens in that area about 2-3 years ago. I said, y'all watch, something's wrong right there, before anybody was saying anything at all. And now emergency management is saying that Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier are in what he was saying was final preliminary eruption stage kind of thing, phase. That the magma infills there. There's the rumbling that he's really keeping an eye on that, but not just that one, but a lot of those volcanoes. So you can see that the earth is really having a hard time. The magnetic pole, the magnetic north, is continuing to move, and we have precrustal displacement. Hello, Christy Betts, good to see you. All of this is prophetic, and the more America has to do with trying to split up Israel, and as much as Israel thinks about bargaining, I think both areas are going to have problems. Not so much Israel right now, but America. And it's showing, because not just the drought and the flooding, but we had cicadas that were mostly in DC. The birds started going blind in DC, and then it spread to the neighboring states like Kentucky, Ohio, Maryland, Indiana, West Virginia, and Virginia. They've got these mystery bird illnesses. All right. It's like God's judgment is just spreading over certain areas. Plagues. That's what I see, is plagues like of Moses this day. All right. And then And in the middle of all this is hurricane season. So we've always got something forming in the Gulf. And right now they're looking at something right now that could come in. But I mean, I still keep seeing them wanting to hit New Orleans. It's always New Orleans the last couple summers. Have you noticed that? Okay. But in addition, we've had several collapses lately across the United States. Okay. It started on with a pedestrian bridge collapse in DC. And then we had the Miami building collapse. And I think I think I know what happened with that, because it's really, really just a kind of a science thing. What it is it was the water. It's capable of coming up from underneath. And when it does that, it can make even rocks more buoyant, and it can cause cracks where the water begins. But as it rises and lowers over the seasons, when it's high, it's eroding underneath, right? But when it lowers, it leaves all this remaining pressure of the top on what is still left of what's being eroded away. So in time, you would see the entire thing buckle. All right. And I had mentioned in a comment a while back that, there should be, mark my words, more buildings, and they are starting to look at that. In fact, Key Biscayne building has a very large crack in the ceiling of their garage. The other buildings may be in for a similar fate. And it turns out that Miami has been in the news going back for at least 7 years that concerned sea level rise, that exact area. Okay. So then after that, because the collapses didn't end there, June 27th, Detroit highway just randomly fills with water, trapping drivers from a hole in the ground. June 28th, Highway I-5, buckles under extreme heat. June 29th, sinkhole opens on New Orleans lakefront levee. All right, and then we've got the reports of what's happening with Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier. Okay, so right there you can see just with America how much groaning is going on, and that should let you know that things are very unstable. It was what I was trying to say a couple of years ago. You're going to find that you're going to have to look at what's underneath your feet, because it might not be there suddenly everywhere. And this is really a global problem. Okay, they're talking about precrustal displacements. They're talking less about Maunder minimums and more about magnetic pole reversals now. So it's becoming better known what's really happening. We are talking about an infrastructure deal that's not going to amount to a hill of beans, considering the rate of issues we're having. The earth is it's expanding, okay, and parts are collapsing. Okay, there's a lot of pressure, and that means that you're going to see, not just with Miami, but you're going to see where suddenly water comes up out of nowhere. It can just come up because water is underneath us too. Lava is underneath us. You would be surprised. It might blow your mind if you just decided to do a geology check of what's under the ground in your area. Okay, what fault lines might be there. You might be shocked. Okay, I'm not kidding. Let's go ahead and check the comments. Hello, Susan. Good to see you in that building, but the man was away on business. Oh, that is just always so heartbreaking. It is always heartbreaking. Anytime you lose someone, it always just reminds you of not just the good times that you had, but of all the things that you wish you still could have done. And we know that more and more we're going to see people around us disappearing like that because of what is happening to our earth. It can happen to us anytime, right? As things continue to progress. So love the people that you have in your life now. fellowship with them now and love while you can. Okay, because things aren't guaranteed. They never were, but it seems like now more than ever, we really need to hug each other, when we have that chance to make amends where we can, if we can. Okay. Um, because if we look at Israel and America, how we involve ourselves, most of us know that we've got to be careful how we handle Israel. And Biden I've been looking every day, and it's like he's gunning for the 2-state solution, y'all. Like hardcore gunning, guns blazing. Okay. He believes it's the only way. He's sending representatives out, and, June 24th, 73 lawmakers urged Biden to reverse Trump's pro-Israel policies. And the UN is talking about a 3-state solution where Jordan gets a piece. Okay. But a lot of people are thinking, okay, this change of government, could the third temple be on the way? I can smell it near. The time can be close enough to smell, is what I'm saying. That we're walking into days like that. Things are changing. Everything is changing. All right. And it just kind of surprised me that the Pope wouldn't give Biden communion. It did. Over everything that's going on, even the Pope didn't want to give Biden communion. Wow. Okay. So all of these articles have been going on about the same times that, just things keep getting worse, including our relations with, Russia. That didn't go very well now, did it? All right. In addition, I came across an article from a year back that said a rogue killer drone hunted down a human target without being instructed to. UN report says. That's a bad sign, right? That's a really bad sign. Hunted down a target without even being instructed to. Okay? And then we've got hacking problems. Now, hacking right now at the level and the certain places that it's been going on the last few years lets you know that everything computer-wise, infrastructure-wise has been hacked. Everything from banking systems to our nation's security systems, military, you name it, it's been hacked. Okay. And just in the last month, right after the Colonial Pipeline hacking, internet service interruption for major news websites happened on June 8th. June 14th, hackers steal 26 million user login credentials from Amazon, Google, and Facebook. June 14th, news stations and law departments hacked. Texans report, this one was wild, that thermostats were changed remotely to conserve energy during the heat wave to keep rolling blackouts from happening. All right. Water poison hack, June 18th. Okay. And how many was that? Okay. That's several people that were hacked. Several organizations with millions of users and personal identification and backdoors just for, if anybody wants to come in, if anybody really had their hand in all of this, they could literally shut everything down and just walk right in. It's the hacking's that bad. Okay. And I still maintain that all of this implant chipping, all that's all about hacking humans. It's about hacking us too. Okay. Okay. The chat's kind of quiet tonight. I know it's been a while. That's okay. All right. And when you hear about all of these things one at a time, it doesn't hit you as much as you realize that all of this happened in about a month. All of it. We got even some fish deaths too that was pretty sick, things going on. Except for the killer drone, that was like a year ago. But when you look at the condition of the earth, the condition of things between the United States and Israel, that they really, really want to split that little country apart. They really do. They want to hack it into little pieces. All right. And in the meantime, we've got the cartel in charge of the Southern America, our South border here in America. They're in charge of it. All right. They even admitted it today. We, if you think about it, we're just completely open for attack. It can happen at any time. Diplomacy right now and foreign relations are critical, and I don't think that we have even that right now from what I've been seeing. And still, though, Texas wants to finish their border wall. They want to try. GOP congressman wants Biden to have a competency test. I haven't heard anything about that since. It's probably just going to be brushed under the rug. Okay. June 24th, Biden whispered. It was very creepy, but it gave me the no more Mr. Nice Guy, or maybe, there's more to me than what you think under here. Definitely. But in the meantime, okay, what we're seeing besides Mr. Nice Guy whispering, we're seeing real, tangible things with our own two eyes in places that we go. Kroger, Dollar General, and Exxon recently here in my area, we're experiencing a change shortage again. Seriously. Toilet paper, scarce. It seems like shipments are getting here slower. Everybody's got hiring signs up, but I don't know who's trying to get hired. I really don't. Ice Age farmers reporting that UK food shortages are inevitable, while right now food prices here in America and shortages are in the mainstream media now, finally. Okay, we see that is going on in California and pretty much across the globe with the food sources, that it's getting critical from what I'm hearing. Okay, and when you look at all of these real things that are combining as far as how the earth is exploding, that we're actually gonna have to be wary of that. We have to be wary that sudden changes in our life, real hard changes, can happen because of a huge earthquake, or water coming up from nowhere, or the ground disappearing out from underneath you. You're going to have to get ready for the possibility that everything is about to change, that there is no way to stop with some infrastructure plan, that personal responsibility is going to become more and more of a critical way to think as far as where this is all going. The government can't stop this. They can't. These are the last days. One of the horsemen is famine, right? The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So we can't hold on to false hope that, engineers are going to be able to just fix all the cracks. There's going to continue to be more cracks. There's going to continue to be more instability. And there's really just not much any of us can do but buckle up. Or I guess, as Coverstone would say, brace yourself, right? But with all of that real life going on, these real things happening, some people are only thinking just about their pleasure, right? But in the strangest way, because they took away a lot because of making everybody stay in their homes. But they said, okay, well, we'll give you back your Macy Days parade, but segregation will be the rule, because they've segregated people for this, basically. And I'm like, okay, well, I wonder who's going to get the better seats, right? That you can't even be in a certain section as everybody else if you haven't bowed down to your government god, little g, right? Okay. And then in the weird mix of all of that, disclosure of aliens from the government just starts exploding in the news, okay? Which also was a huge thing that every preacher I know in the South used to talk about. And they say, you be watching when these fallen angels come back and they start trying to pass themselves off as aliens, and the government who's been involved with them for a while will just suddenly have this change of heart where suddenly they need to disclose this to the world, and but they will be fallen angels. When you think, I mean, seriously, when you think about a beautiful angel stripped of all its glory, what do you think it would look like? I think it would look like that. Ugh. Okay, they're gonna try to woo you like, they're smarter than you, they're more of a divine being than you, they've got a higher intelligence than you, just because they can do certain things, which it isn't exactly true. They're just different beings with different abilities, but they're not higher than us. They're fallen. We still have a chance, okay? We still have a chance to make it. Hello, Janet Alvarez, and hello, Bobby Ricky. Okay. Your dollar isn't getting shit. See, I was asking my Dollar General, the same thing, Susan. And she said, oh, no, we've got everything back. It's just, I've got so much to put up. But I mean, it was like spot after spot on the shelf that just was completely empty. Okay. And that was just in the last week. Yes, there is disturbing technology in play. Cyber Polygon. Ooh, I'm going to have to check that out. Maybe tell me more about the Cyber Polygon. Just listen, haven't heard from you in a long time. Oh, yeah, I know. I really did miss you guys. I did. It's just been that hard. And I mean, I even had it planned out where it's like, okay, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do this live stream. And it comes to mind, I've got a headache. And then I start thinking about the last few days and how I've been feeling. And then I start thinking back over the week. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely had a grand mal a week and a half ago. And I haven't really felt right since. And I'm like, okay, wait, I'm getting ready to have another one. So, and all my muscles have been just like kind of cramping, from my neck to my feet. It's just my head. I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm even like sad, and there's just no reason for it. But it's like, man, I'm coming out here to talk. I don't know when the weather will be like this. And it's crazy because they're even saying what I saw myself is that the West and the East Coast is having hotter weather than Texas. Than we are. And it's true. We are not having the blistering heat. And it's probably due to a lot of the rain and cloud coverage that we've been getting. Thank you, God. But seriously, I don't think we've gotten over like 96 degrees where I'm at yet. Okay. And I've noticed the last couple of summers in June are tending to be a little bit cooler. And then we had that freeze. And over this last month, we even had a little itty bitty cold front come in right before this last stint of rain. It's supposed to rain like all week long. So this right here is a miracle. Yeah, migraines can be really bad, but I used to never have them. And then I started realizing, wait, I get these right before I have a grand mal. And the thing is, I used to have them for like 2 weeks, but I'm starting to see that I'm having grand mals without the 2 week headaches, that I'm having to watch harder. Sorry, I'm not trying to get off topic here, but basically what I'm saying is you've got the Israel thing, you've got what's going on with Earth, and even these maps started coming out again, not the first time we've seen them, where, parts of America are filled with water, the coastlines. What did I do? Videos a few years back. I said, y'all all need to be getting off these coastlines. Every coast in America, you need to get off of the coast. 90 miles minimum inland. Really, that's the truth. But nobody wanted to hear it just yet. Sometimes you just think everything is going to keep going on, and people didn't know me back then. They didn't know that I tend to either figure things out, or I will have a vision, or a combination of both. Hey, Five Flames. Wow. It's so good to talk to you. So good to see you. Hello. Oh, you have a great evening too, sweetheart. Okay. So yeah, we've got when you think about, okay, they're ready to disclose this alien agenda, okay, and I'll tell you what that's about, all right? It's about telling you that they created us. That they're here to unify everybody in harmony, and the good words. It's a fish hook. It's a lure. It's a trap, and they're gonna do it in such a way that they make anybody who's like going, "Whoa, I'm I'm feeling some red flags here." They're gonna make those people like me look like a hater. Okay, they will want to hate us. They just like they couldn't understand why we wouldn't take the job. They're really not going to understand this. We will be public enemies. We're just going to have to kind of get used to that. But under this whole deception, you see, there's a false angel, the fallen angels, the false prophet, the system, the image, the money system. You see, it's all coming together, and now everybody's thinking, oh man, this whole uh, temple thing is, they've got this feel about it. And then there's oh, I'm about to have a seizure. Sometimes things just slip out of my mind right when I'm about to say them. Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Very low 90s in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Very hot, but the humidity. Yes, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. And I'm a coastal child, so I know exactly what you mean. Oh my goodness, that's why we have feels like temperatures around here. Ooh, it can be something else. And then years ago, about 5, 6 years ago, I had a huge open vision. God was just talking to me, and He was showing me that a Texas Gulf of Mexico disaster was coming, which it hasn't happened yet, but now they're starting to get these little conversations here and there now that there's something going on in the Gulf after all. Okay, like some kind of fault line. I think that's what I was talking about to begin with. I said there's something going on with the tectonics. There's something going on underneath us that's going to shift, and we're going to get a wall of water, a big one. But now that's really starting to come to light. Oh, thank you, Christy. Thank you so much. I knew when I had that last one, it didn't feel like I got it all out. Just it's been like that. I'll be okay. Usually I'm okay. That's why, like, I'm not. My daughter, she works the afternoon shift. My son works during the day, so I'm generally, around people. At least I have one out here. People walk past enough. They'll see me. So we'll be okay. We'll be all right. Okay. So, okay. Alrighty. Have we covered everything? I want you guys to really keep an eye on that two-state solution. They're keeping it in the back of the news. It's something, but if you start looking at the articles and look at what happens to our country that day or within 24 hours or something, you might start seeing like a pattern coming, but still, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And I need to bring to attention that, yeah, we got 4 horsemen coming. I mean, they're riding is what I mean. They're not coming. They're here. But I want to point you to the next seal to get you to understand that those are last days martyrs. That's a whole seal. So I'm thinking it's a big deal. Okay. And what that tells me is that, and what it has always told me, is that there was only so many of those martyrs that would be in this group of last days martyrs. We've got them all over the world. China, different parts of the Middle East, Africa, Christian martyrs, even in the United States, they've shot up churches. Okay, we do have already fifth seal martyrs, but that should continue. That should also increase because we are seeing the censorship already. We're seeing the slow progression, the propaganda. All right. I just want you to get ready. And there's also something that we really need to also understand it's going to be painful, but you need to be ready. You need to really understand, because I hear this all the time. My brother or my mother or my father or my cousin, my friends are walking the other way. And no matter what I say, they won't listen. Get used to that. Some people will listen and some people won't. This is the time where it said in the Bible was saying the righteous would be righteous still, and the wicked, they would continue to get worse and worse. That's this time everybody's becoming dark or light. Everybody's making their personal decisions. Okay. And so you've got to understand where there's going to be that separation. Does that make any sense? And once you make your decision, you have to keep going with yours too. Okay. But God is our shepherd. He is the King of Kings. He's the creator of all, the master of all. We're going to go with our master. We're going to go with the voice that we hear. All right. We can't let the choices of others influence us to the degree where we might get mad at God. Like, blame him. People are making their choices. And I think you already see that. Okay. Okay. And that's another thing with this whole beast system. And you look at the hacking now, I see a silver lining to this, because there's always that bird and the baguette story. If we can be hacked, so can they. Killer drone or not making its own decision, in the end, it's a machine. It's a machine. I mean, it's hard not to break a computer. It's hard not to flood out your car. It's hard not to do this and that and this and that when it comes to electronics. Okay? Think about that. We don't have to just think of it as, oh, they've got all this control because they've got all these ways. Well, so do we, right? We have computer programming skills. We've got skills too. I refuse to be the victim. Oh, thank you so much, Adrian. I'm so glad to see you. I miss seeing you too. I'm sorry I haven't been on your channel a whole lot. I haven't been on anybody's, really. I'll explain it, I promise. Hello, Mark Rufner, Michael Allen. I will pray for your daughter, Michael. Yes, I will. I will definitely do that. Hello, Will Embry. It's good to see you too. Absolutely. Without a spiritual justify their evil deeds. And they do. They do that all the time. They do it all the time. They imagine Father as though he isn't a judge, as though he won't judge, as though he won't go by the book he wrote and hand it to us, a copy of, to say, okay, these are my standards. This is what I expect out of somebody who is my child. You won't degrade people. You won't hit people. You won't steal. You will honor your parents. Certain things. And it's not just a list of rules. It's about character. And your mouth speaks to what's in your heart. And so does everything you do, as a matter of fact. But if I've noticed a lot of these people that justify what they're doing, they're already aware of what the Bible says. But they always go, no, God knows my heart. Yeah, he does, even when you say that. Because here's the thing. Your hands, your mouth, they do what comes from what's in your heart. So if you do something that came from your heart, so if you say, well, God sees my heart, well, yeah, and it manifested out and it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? And that's where repentance again comes in. You have to repent. You do. And it's not something you do just once, because you're going to slip up where you realize, oh gosh, I'm holding a grudge against this person. Or whatever. Okay. Oh, these seizures. It's trying to trip me up. Proverbs 31. There was it was Joel. The way that everything was going, I was seeing Joel. I think it was like chapter 2. Joel chapter 2. Yeah, I think that's it, as a matter of fact, because yeah, I think it was chapter 2 and 3. But when I was reading it, it was kind of speaking to me. Then I realized it's talking about the last days, and then it starts talking about the day of the Lord being nigh. All right. And I knew that this had to be about us right here, just the way that it's spoken. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm on YouTube. Oh, wait, you want to listen in?
No, I can hear you talking. I see the makeup.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I didn't know who you were. I got you back on my phone now.
I know. I figured as much.
When I lost my other phone, it's like I lost everything.
Yeah, I know how it goes. That happens to me. I don't know what I'd do if I lost my phone. Bye, sweetie. All right. Everybody's still there? Okay. All right. He knew it was on live. He's like, I don't care. I just want you to know I got you back in my phone. That's the South for you. Okay, let's go back to that the Bible verses we were talking about. It says, blow you the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, which is kind of what the land's doing all over the place. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind a flame burns. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Meaning that everything they cross is destroyed. They come upon things when they're good, but when they're done, there's nothing left. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots, of the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devours the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city, they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb upon the houses, they shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God. For he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, and assemble the elders. And it goes on, it says, and it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. All right. So you can kind of see, I mean, it just feels like everything is coming together. That the only thing that we can really do right now is get as close to God as we can, because nothing's going to stop this shaking. Even heaven itself is shaking. Okay, everybody, I am getting super hungry, and I think the battery's getting low on my computer. It's great to see all of you. I love you guys, and I hope to see you super soon. Bye, y'all.